Relax.
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 I said relax. Relax.
For the police officer, restraining a suspect can get you injured, and if you get your gun, even killed. Learning to arrest and control suspects is an important skill. Scientific analysis of confrontational situations is now providing LAPD officers with cutting-edge training in hand-to-hand combat. Sergeant Greg Dossie is an instructor.
Okay. The officers are going to be learning in this 40-hour school is the product of the first scientific analysis of the problem of non-lethal force use in law enforcement. What I did to begin was take a year's worth of altercations, 5,617 reports, and developed a way of reducing a 20 to 30-page narrative down to a single line of digits, which would represent blow by blow what happened in that altercation. And then entered that into a computer, a software program, a statistical package, and found out that 92% of our altercations fit into 5 basic patterns. And the computer even generated blow by blow what those patterns were. This is not a grappling school, and it's not just about wrestling. We have 3 skill batteries. We have pugilistic skills, which include blocking attacks, delivering what we call distraction strikes, kicks, knee strikes, open-handed strikes, and elbow strikes. And then the 3rd skill battery includes arm mechanics and joint locks.
But if you turn your palm this way when you strike, the palm will sink first. This is how you'll derive your power.
So what you're seeing is a state-of-the-art system. It's simple, it's basic. There's no mystical or magical technique. There's no board breaking or people flying through the air with shoulder throws or anything. It's all pretty basic stuff, but it's effective, and it's based on what altercations actually look like, not on martial arts.
If you're too close, do not attempt to kick. Use the knee. If it's out further, then use the kick. If he's inside close and you're going upstairs, elbow. From a distance, palm. Right? Know your distance, work your drill. All these techniques are interchangeable. They flow with one another.
There's basically three scenarios are the 3 dominant scenarios. In the first, I've already kind of articulated that. The officers are peace officers, which means that when people are fighting or in a disturbance or arguing, oftentimes officers are called in to quell that disturbance, restore order and peace to the neighborhood, and let people go back to sleep. And when they intervene with 2 disputing parties, oftentimes they can't find out what the problem is and get the thing resolved until they separate the disputing parties. And when they reach out and grab onto someone who's already upset and agitated, oftentimes they'll pull away. The officer attempts a joint lock they've learned in the academy. That failing, they end up getting into a scuffle and a struggle. The second most common scenario is where the officers are stopping someone, usually a pedestrian, stop. Oftentimes narcotics are suspected, and the suspect will just full-on attack the officer, swinging punches and kicks. More often than not, the officer gets overrun by the suspect, oftentimes knocked to the ground, or sometimes the officers will move laterally and get out of the direct line of attack and use the baton. The third most common pattern is where the officer tells someone they're under arrest, and that person then becomes uncooperative, doesn't respond to verbal commands to put their hands behind their head and spread their feet or whatever, and in fact most often will go into a fighting stance. So a large percentage of our altercations do end up on the ground, and we are providing officers with more skills in that area. For the first time, you look at police training and you're going to see officers being taught to work in pairs or in quadruple. So there's a lot of emphasis in this curriculum on working together, giving officers strategies as a team. This is the only curriculum of its kind in law enforcement today. It's, as I said, based on scientific analysis of the problems. All of the word from the street is that this is extremely effective and very, very favorable. Very, very favorable. It's generated a lot of interest in the law enforcement community, so in the next few years, I suspect this will be the cutting-edge, non-lethal force arrest and control.